Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Dungeon Meshi episode number 8 reaction. Alright, the previous episode, the first part was we get to see a little bit of Senshi's like a situation kind of interconnected with Senshi. He was good friends with a Kelpie and turns out the Kelpie was actually planning to eat him. And that's why we had to defeat the Kelpie and like nothing else we can do about it. And also like a few other things we kind of got to know that since he hasn't really washed his beard and his mustache, so Martial helps make like a little soap with the help of the kelpie fat, and all that stuff. And then comes the next part where we get to fight a kraken, and inside the kraken there was the parasite, which obviously Laios wanted to eat. And yeah, they cooked the parasite, but Laios tried to eat it raw, so now he has a parasite inside of him which is making him suffer. So this should hopefully make him understand not to eat stuff raw. And or it probably won't, I don't know, either way. He was suffering throughout the whole night. And yeah, so anyways, that was what happened. So let's see what happens in this episode 8. Let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here, sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Okay. Right. Still what? Um. Okay. Is she dreaming? Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, because of the parasite. Bruh. Hmm. Yeah, that is true. Hmm. Right. Oh, she was popular. Hmm. Wow. Damn. Yeah. Why is she sitting over there? Oh, because okay, she's like a senior. She was a graduate. Hmm. What? Spirit breed? Oh, so it's like artificial, like, grafting or something. Something like that. Artificial. Like, oh, they use spirits for it. Interesting. Ah. So unlike plants, they're doing it for spirits. Oh, wow, that's cool. Interesting. Hmm. Okay. The whole mandrake thing that we, like a farm, like a, oh, she's gonna trip. I feel like, oh wait, this is Falin, isn't it? Yeah. I guess it makes sense because she's an elf. She's so older. I always had this impression that Fallon and her were of the same age, but now that I think about it, that's impossible. She's an elf. Hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. She's an elf. She's lived for a long time. Oh my god, everyone's dead. Is Fallon's fine? Oh, there you go. How about Fallon? Oh, bruh! Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, like she saw like her. Ah, that's how. In the dungeon? Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. So they've been dungeon crawling from such a young age. Laios was going with her, I'm guessing? Yeah. Oh boy. Good God. Right, here we are. But she, like she did it. She was able to do the spirit breeding, that thing. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, she's just like Laios. It puts just eats everything. Wow, I can see where Laios gets his. Wait, is Laios the older brother or the younger brother? So did she get her inspiration from here? This. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, she got her inspiration from here. Hmm. There you go. Write letters? What? Hmm. Will it? Hmm. But won't it like? Oh my god! A slime. I'm guessing the ecosystem. Otherwise, it's going to get if she attacks it. Right. And it's part of the ecosystem and the food chain. I'm guessing. There you go. That's how there is. Yep. Yeah, you won't be getting these type of stuff anymore. If it withers away. So, she was saying that she was going to introduce mandrake here that would disrupt the food system. Yeah, so she shouldn't do it. She shouldn't do anything to destroy the chain. Exactly. Yeah, she shouldn't do it. Huh. What is she doing? Drawing? Hmm. Yep. Wait, you didn't know? Hmm. Well, she's an elf. She has a lot of age, like an experience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he made all of this. The way he looks. There you go. Oh, he's his younger sister. Yeah. Oh no, imitating a dog. Oh my god. 2 days. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. What? I love how they made the magic circle too. How? Yeah, like that? Okay. Half of the girls. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Right, these two. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, like as soon as. Oh boy. Damn, the parasite is really like. Oh no. Okay, what's he doing? No, don't do that. Why? There might be creatures in it. Oh my god. Wait, what happened? Wait, oh my god, I was right. There was something inside it. I was like, don't do that. It's boiling water. You're literally pouring boiling water inside. Bro. Like, Undine was just over there. Yeah, oh god. Or eyes, I don't know. I don't think she can. She doesn't have her. Hit it. Damn. Okay. He woke up. What's happening? Oh, it's still. Undine is still. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Oh god. Undine is. Oh, she got shot. Oh no. Oh, it's. Oh my god. Ah, this is bad. Yeah, it won't. Oh, there. Oh, is that the blood? Yeah. B- she lifted herself in the air. Oh god, you're gonna fall. Damn. Okay. Oh god, Undine is still there. Okay, it's become bigger. Run. The Joestar's secret technique. Yes, it works every time. Oh my god. Well, at least we're alive. Blood and magic. Should we go back? Yeah, that cannot really heal her, I guess. Don't they have any potion or anything? Like any type of. Oh, I guess we do have to move forward because, you know, we need to save Falin. We can cook them food. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, maybe that'll help. Yeah, I was gonna say it's rich in iron, so can it help, like, make help the blood, like, you know? Right. I guess that'll help a little. Hmm. Kelpie grilled meat. Yeah, you have to eat. Damn, that looks good. Ugh. Okay, I'm guessing since she's out of it, she probably wouldn't even think what meat is this. Yeah. Look at her face. Okay, you what type of that is a question, you know? It is a sea creature. Yeah. Bro, wait for her to eat. It's for her. Everyone's just eating. Oh, there you go. She's finally eating. She's only eating the liver. She needs iron. Give her meat as well. Come on. Right. I was just saying that. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, what about that? Right. What's happening here? Oh, some other adventures. Oh, this girl. So this is her new group, I'm guessing. Well, like I can understand Marcel the reason why she is like angry at them because like they were technically with us and I can understand their logic that oh we need to also put food on our plate, we cannot go and help in this situation. But still you've been adventuring, like one of your teammates get like captured trying to save you guys, and you're like, oh I cannot do anything to help, I need to go. Like that's a little bit selfish, isn't it? Because technically, if she didn't do that, none of them would have survived there. So he saved your life, she saved your life, and you're just going to abandon her. I can understand Marcel's reasoning. Yeah, like if it was a situation like that, I would have gotten angry as well. Like, So yeah, I guess if they end up meeting, Marcel's not going to be happy. She'll be like, yeah, you guys are trash, you just because like we had to go and save Fallon and we couldn't do anything else, you just abandoned us while we or Fallon helped you out in your times of need. Like, that's just selfish. Okay, that is it. Yeah, that was episode number 8, I think. All right, episode number 8. Another great episode. Today's episode, we get to see a little bit about Falin and Marcel, their past, when they were, I was going to say when they were kids, but no, when Falin was a kid, because Marcel wasn't a kid then. She was an elf. But when Falin was a kid, her meeting with Marcel and, the whole thing. That, and also the final section where we have to, Marcel gets involved in a difficult situation with the Undine, and she has to fight. She gets hurt, and then we feed her some kelpie liver. She wasn't happy about it though, because she wanted the the other part of the meat as well. Like, I love how everyone is just feeding her liver, and she's like, "Come on, man, give me something else. Like, it's fine, liver is fine and all, but at least give me something else as well. You guys are just eating everything in front of me." That was funny. Okay, one thing I need to mention here is pretty funny because now that I'm thinking about it, I should have realized this, that Falin is way older than Marcel is way older than Falin, and that when she met Falin, it was probably when Falin was a kid, or not a kid, but at least like a very young, like like a kid, like a young adult, that type of a time she must have met her, because she's an elf, she's been living for a long time. And you know what's funny, because I never thought about this, because of how we saw in the flashbacks, how we saw Falin and Marcel interact with each other. It was more as if like Falin was like the elder sister of Marcel, kind of like that. She always like helped her out, and Marcel always used to like bring her complaints to Falin, and Falin used to kind of like make her. We saw all of that in flashbacks, like that relationship dynamic. I don't know, made me automatically think that they were either of the same age or Falin is older than Marcel. But now that I'm thinking about it, that is impossible, because Marcel is an elf, and we literally saw today. So that relationship dynamic, I don't know, made me, in an automatic way, it made me think that like Falin was older. But no, that's not true. Falin cannot be older. She's a human, you know, while Marcel is an elf. So yeah, like today's episode made me realize, like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, like obviously I had a completely wrong idea, And if you like, this is like one of those things when you kind of sit down and think about it, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's obvious that Marcel is older. But the thing is, I never really thought about it. I just like saw the relationship dynamic, and in my head that was automatically ingrained. Like Falin was more like a bigger elder sister, that kind of thing. So I never really thought about it. But if you sit down and think about it, you'll immediately realize that, yeah, like how flawed that logic is. Marcel is obviously older than everyone here. Yeah, that was kind of funny when I realized that today. That realization hit. Right. Okay, a few other things. For example, we can see that Marcel always had, like since Marcel is an elf, she has a lot of experience. She was like the successful, mage, that kind of thing. And she came to this school as a, as an observer, and there she met Falin. And here, after talking with Falin and seeing what she does and going to the dungeon with her, she realized how inexperienced she was, at least in this part. She might be very good at studies, or like theoretical or book knowledge, she might be very experienced in. But practically, she had no clue what's going on and how to do, which Falin had. Falin used to go to the dungeons and stuff, and she could immediately understand that, yeah, going into a dungeon and seeing it through my eyes is so different, because in the dungeon there's so many different things happening. There's like a whole food cycle, a whole ecosystem in the dungeon. and she was thinking how to change the dungeon, how to make it safe. But later on, the realization hit her that if I try to do that, or if I try to introduce some kind of foreign like things inside the dungeon, it might backfire and completely destroy the ecosystem. She was thinking about like introducing mandrake in that part, but if she did that, it probably would have affected the whole cycle, like somehow or the other. So the whole thing, the whole cycle, it was going smoothly, and if she introduced like a mandrake in it, it would intrude in that cycle, making things go out of whack. And if that happened, that dungeon wouldn't be as rich in mana as it was, and things will like collapse. So she realized that, and she realized how her logic was flawed. She was everything like basing everything on book knowledge, but going and seeing it like like for the first time, looking at everything, she's like, yeah, you know what, maybe not. If I want to keep the dungeon like this, yeah, I need to keep it like this. I cannot like introduce foreign things inside of it expecting everything to go smoothly, I guess. But you do, like I said in the previous episode, I said this, you do need to regulate it, because for example, the whole golem situation, Senshi needs to protect the golems now, Senshi and everyone else, because if the golems go extinct, it'll completely destroy everything. Because like the lower dungeon monsters is going to come up, they're going to attack the humans outside, it'll be a mess. So when situations like this happen, we do need to interfere, but most of the time we should keep the interference minimum. We should only take what is necessary and what will not really mess up the ecosystem. For example, it's kind of similar to our normal world. Like we obviously, like from back in the day when we were like, we didn't have, like we were like cavemen. From back in the day, like billions and billions years ago, when the first like human being like was like came on this earth, we have been killing animals, cutting trees, getting our stuff from that, from the nature, and then when we die, we go back to the nature again through the earth, and it's a cycle, and that is how it goes. So that has been happening, and that obviously needs to happen, because otherwise we won't be able to survive. But the important thing we need to remember is that just like how we take, we should take the only necessary part. We shouldn't overindulge. Is that a word? Yeah. Or we shouldn't like waste stuff. Like everything in excess will make things difficult. So only that is necessary, that's what we should take. And obviously we should try to keep it a minimum, that kind of thing. So here as well in the dungeon, it's not like we cannot interfere or we shouldn't interfere. We can, however, we should interfere in such a way that it will not like put everything out of control or make things imbalanced. We should interfere. Obviously we we have to go in the dungeons, we have to kill the monsters, we should do that, but we should only do what is like at a degree that is not going to interfere in the natural habitat, that kind of thing. We need to keep that in mind, like, so something like that, I think. So yeah, that's one thing that we saw here, and Marcel realized it after like meeting Falin and going to the dungeon. That was really good, because you can see, even though she's an elf, she has so much experience, she still learned something new over there. And that's how she became good friends with Falin. And yeah, that was a really good part, like, yeah. And then we have the next section where like Marcel kind of makes a mistake, drops boiling water in the water body over there, and I was like, oh no, there must be some kind of a creature underneath which is going to get just splashed with scalding hot water and it's going to go crazy. And that's exactly what happened. Instead, it wasn't really a creature, it was Undine. And it's interesting to see Undine here in this sense, because usually in games and animes, what we see, like, Undine is usually like a humanoid creature, like, which either looks like a mermaid or like a human, like kind of like that. Undine is shown like that. And just like that, I'm guessing we also have like other elemental spirits here as well. If we have Undine here, we must have Sylph, which is the wind equivalent, I'm guessing. And if we have Sylph, then we must have Salamander, which is the fire equivalent. And then we must have the Gnome, which is the earth equivalent. Like these, as far as I know, like that, like this is what all the animes and video games show. These are like the four elemental spirits: Undine, Sylph, um, Gnome, and Salamander. So I'm guessing these also exists here, but the way we see them in other animes and games, like I said, Undine in most other animes and games, like Undine like has like in some animes I've seen her have like a humanoid feature. In some animes we've seen her having like a more of a, I don't know, like a mermaid type of a like a thing. And then like Sylph is usually like a butterfly or a fairy. Gnome is more like a little like a like a groundhog or something. you know. And then we have Salamander, which is more like a salamander, like a like a lizard. So here it was interesting to see the Undine here was just a blob of water, you know, kind of like that. It didn't have like any type of form, but it was definitely very strong. And I'm guessing, like what like Undine in this show is just like a normal like water elemental spirit, because in some shows we have seen Undine, Sylph, Gnome, and Salamander. They're more of the main or the big elemental spirit, and only one of them exists. But I'm guessing here multiple exist. These are more of a like a elemental spirit kind of thing. And like this is like, I'm sure there's more Undines here, like kind of like that. And yeah, anyways, yeah, so she drops boiling water and it just makes the Undine go crazy. Gets up, starts attacking Marcel, all that stuff. And yeah, somehow we are able to save her, but she lacks blood and magic. So obviously, we do some barbecue and feed her the kelpie liver. Right. And in the end, you can see those guys. That girl who abandoned us, she's back with a new party, I'm guessing. And yeah, you know, let's see. From the first impressions, I don't really like her, because we saw like like when Marcel asked her and the other guy that, oh, okay, can you guys help? She was like, oh no, we have to put food on our plate, which I can understand. Like I said, I can understand. They're adventurers, they're dungeon crawlers. They need money. But still, like I said, at that point of time, Falin literally sacrificed herself to help everyone, and someone who did that, you are just going to abandon them in her time of need. Like what? Wasn't there any other way you could have done it? Maybe you could have been like, all right, you know what? I might not be able to help you guys out, all the time, because I need to put food on my plate as well. But I will definitely help you out. Some days, or something like that, like some kind of compromise. Couldn't you come up with it instead of just completely just saying something like a complete, like a douchebag, like, oh, I cannot help you guys out. Like, bro, like, what are you on about? She literally sacrificed herself to save you, and you cannot, like, at least help us out to help her out. Like, what is that? Like, that's why I kind of share Marcel's like Marcel's emotions here. How Marcel is very angry at her. Like, yeah, she could have come up with some kind of a compromise instead of like outright like saying that I cannot help, like just like that. Like that was selfish, very selfish. Like, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I I'm not really that much fond of those two people, the ones that left us, and I'm pretty sure Marcel isn't as well. So if they end up meeting, I don't know about Laios. I don't know exactly how. I don't think Laios really minds that much, because we've seen it. Like Laios is a type of person who doesn't really hold grudges, as you can see, not that much at least. So I feel like Laios would be cool with it, but Marcel is definitely not going to be cool with it. Not sure about Chilchak as well. Chilchak might also harbor a little bit of a anger against them, because that's the type of person he seems like to me. Marcel is definitely not going to be happy with them. We just saw that. And Laios, I'm not really sure. It is her sister we're talking about, but at the same time, like I said, I don't see Laios holding grudge against anyone. So he might be like, right, you know what, whatever, it's fine. He'll be probably like that. But Marcel might definitely will not be happy. So if they end up meeting, oh boy, Marcel's going to be pissed off at them. And I'm guessing they will be meeting. Otherwise, why would they show that scene at the end of the episode? That girl coming in and that girl commenting on how like an idiot can make, only an idiot will be making and cooking food in the dungeon or something like that. She kind of mentioned. And yeah, that is what happened in today's episode. Good episode. We got to know a little bit of Marcel and Falin and a few other stuff. So, right. Okay, now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the beginning section of this episode, what happens is we get to see Marcel having like a little nightmare, kind of. She wakes up and yeah, and she sees Laios like almost like half dead. She tries to like hear his heartbeat, but it's not beating. So she's like, "Oh my god, is she dead or something?" Silchik is like, "Come on, like his armor is on the way. That's why you cannot hear his heartbeat." Either way, he's still struggling from the parasite, so nothing you can do about it. Right. So Marcel is just sitting down and like reading about a few things, and she's thinking about how crazily like good this system is in the dungeon. And she's like, oh, like the whole dungeoning, like the whole system here. Here we go, let me read this. They're here in the dungeon, the number of monsters that are defeated by the intruders are taken into account. Even when we defeat the monsters, we are only maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. But if we let them be, monsters will wander into the town, and the towns will hire adventurers to hunt the monsters. And she's like, it's so designed so well. Yeah, which I agree with. It's like such a intricate system, but it like works out perfectly in a cycle. And she's like, you know what, I studied back in the school about this a long time ago. And then we go to the flashback where we get to see Marcel coming to the school, and everyone being like, oh my god, this is Marcel, she's so cool, she's so like talented. Obviously she's an elf, she has a lot of experience and a lot of things under her. Yeah, and she's a nice girl. Obviously she's like greeting everyone, and she's like, yeah, like I'm also here to learn this and that, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And yeah, then we come to the main section where we get to see what the girls and the students will be doing. Is they'll be making like a little like an ecosystem kind of thing, like what they call it, spirit breeding. So basically it's like like how we like artificially reproduce plants, kind of like that, I guess, in a way. I thought they were going to reproduce plants in an artificial way, but no. They basically put the soil, and they're going to put the spirits inside of it, and they're going to keep the spirits in the jar. The spirits are going to multiply. They're going to put a barrier on top of it, and they say because the structure resembles that of a dungeon that that harbors monsters, it's referred to as Dungeonium. So it's kind of like that. It has layers to it. The spirits are just there, inside of it, and they're going to grow. They're going to keep it in a dark place, and after a week they're going to check. So while all of this is happening, like Marcel's one is, everyone's like praising Marcel. She's like, wow, everyone's like, wow, your one is the best. And Marcel says that I'm researching to how to make a safe dungeon. That's what I'm doing. Right. And while all of this is happening, we get to see Falin. Falin comes out and almost trips. Marcel helps her out. Okay, and when she looks at her Dungeonium, she says that, oh, the soil has some impurities mixed with it, and there are many gaps in the barrier causing the magic to weaken. At this rate, the spirits inside won't be able to survive for long. That's what she thinks, at that time. And she's like, yeah, this is what's happening. And she's like, who is this girl? And they're like, oh, she's always lagging behind, this and that. Either way, moving along, week later, they bring out the things. Everyone's spirit has died. Nobody has survived. Marcel's is still good. It hasn't expanded or reduced. It's still the same. So I guess it is a success in a way. However, Falin's one was the greatest one. Her, in front of her Dungeonium, when you put a flame, it like blows up completely. So her is the best one. So immediately Marcel is like, how were you able to do it? Because obviously Marcel saw her one being the one with the impure soil. So she's like, how is that possible? Her wood should have been the worst out of all of us, but hers is the best. How is that possible? And she's like, how did you do it? And she's like, oh, because there's a place I go always teeming with spirits. I just tried to, like, recreate that. And she then says that, oh, where I go is actually inside a dungeon. And there you go. So they go inside, and yeah, they come inside that place, and Marcel sees Fallon just having fun, like just running around, like grabbing fruits, eating raspberries, all that stuff. And she's just eating, and it's kind of funny because it's like she's literally like a female version of Laios. She's like eating everything. She's like, oh, but grasshoppers and raspberries aren't poisonous either, so she just eats it. And Fallon's like, come on, man. Either way, they go to that part, the little cave where she has gotten the soil from. They go in, and you can see Marcel is like, damn, this place stinks. There's stagnant magic here, like it's a naturally formed cave. They go in. She's afraid, obviously, because she thinks like, oh no, like this might be dangerous. But Fallon's like, oh, don't worry, like you'll be fine. Come with me. So they come in, and inside in that place, they see that dungeon, that section of the dungeon is teeming with spirits. It's a lot of mana, and here and there. It's like a very nice place, and that is where she got the soil from, and put it in the jar. That's why it works so well. And Fallon, Marcel's like, what do you do over here? Like all alone? And she's like, oh, I just, hang around. Right. Anyways, so now here's where Marcel thinks, oh, maybe if I introduce the mandrake over here, maybe I'll be able to make a safe dungeon. She was thinking about modifying the ecosystem here. And then the slime comes up, and she's trying to attack it, but Fallon's like, don't do it. The slimes break down the droppings of the bats, and they convert into magic. So it's very important. And then she also kind of hands her over the raspberries, and she's like, there you go. Obviously indicating that because of those slimes, which is just a part of the system, the whole cycle goes smoothly. And if the whole cycle goes smoothly, that is only the reason you can get this much fresh raspberries. Otherwise, everything will go out of whack, which makes Marcel realize that, oh, no, I shouldn't try to disturb the ecosystem here. She was thinking about introducing mandrakes over here, but, like, it might actually make things go in a little different way. She might disrupt the food balance, and, it won't be good. So she decides not to do anything to this place, and, and she tells Fallon, she's like, you know what, all I thought was I had to study magic, book knowledge, but after seeing this, I can understand the practical aspect of it as well. You need experience for all of this, and how intricate the system it is. I need to learn more. I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to be. And she introduces them. She's like, what's your name? She's like, I'm Fallon. And she's like, Fallon, I'm Marcel. Nice to meet you. And this was the story that she was telling. And Chilchik is like, what the hell? You were the top of the class? That must be wrong. That must be false. And she's like, come on, man. Like, I was the top. Either way, so she also kind of comments on Senshi as to why does Senshi come and like fuss with the dungeon if he doesn't like magic in itself. And he's like, oh, don't, you don't have to think about that. Like mind your own business. Right. And then Laios also wakes up. Laios also comments on how he got to know through letters that Fallon made a good friend, and she complimented her and said that Marcel is a great person. And Marcel also said like, oh, Fallon also used to talk about you and say that you're also a good older brother. She respected you. And in her head she's thinking how Fallon commented on how Laios is really good at imitating a dog. And I'm like, wow. Anyways, right. And she's like, all right, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's get up. Laios, wake up. We need to go and save Fallon. So yeah, all that aside, later on we get to see that Marcia is like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just wash myself a little bit, like boil water. So she boils water, and she's just there in the corner, like kind of like like with a towel, like just like rubbing herself with the towel. And here she thinks about how before half of the dungeon were like, half of her group were girls, because I guess it makes sense since she wasn't there. The boys were like Laios and Chilchak and that dude, those three. While we had three other girls, which was Marcel, Falin, and that other girl. So 3-3, like it's literally half male, half female. But now there's only one girl. And she's like, oh, it was so easy back then. Like all of us girls could like like go up into a group and do our stuff. But yeah, now this is more difficult. And while thinking of that, she suddenly remembers the two party members who left them. And here is what she thinks. She's like, yeah, how could they leave us? She said something like, we have to put food on our plate too. We have to make a living as well. So we'll leave. We cannot help you guys out. But obviously, Marcel is not happy about it. And I agree with her as well. Like I said, I can understand her logic saying that she needs to put food on her plate. Understandable. However, couldn't you come up with a compromise? Any compromise. Like I said, you don't have to help us every day. Like maybe like you like just, I don't know. But I guess this is like a dungeon expedition. We have to like really go for quite a few days in that sense. But still, like I'm sure that they could have come up with some kind of a compromise. I'm not sure exactly what, but there must have been some other way instead of just outright saying something like, oh, you guys go on ahead. Because technically, Falin sacrificed herself to save them. So someone sacrificed themselves to save you, and now you cannot help them out, and you're just like, oh, no, we have other stuff to do, goodbye. That's a bit selfish, isn't it? Kind of like that. This is what I'm saying. I'm sure they could have come up with some kind of a compromise, because you just think about it. Even Chilchak as well, but Chilchak was there as well. He was able to come with us and help us out. And I remember in the first few episodes, they literally sold everything they had. They sold all the equipment and stuff just to get enough money to go on this expedition. Couldn't like they have done anything like that. But then again, like I said, I don't know their background. Maybe they have like family or stuff that they have to feed. But still, it still bothers me, the fact that she just directly refused like that. You know, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking like she could have handled that in a better way. You know, so just being like that was just pure selfishness, in my opinion. Like, yeah, like I just don't like the way that it went. Because like I'm just thinking, even if it was impossible for her to come with us, she could have worded it in a better way. She could have been like, you know what, like I don't know if she has a family and she's like feeding her family or not or anything like that. But if she has like a family, if she could have been like, oh, you know what, I have my family, I have to put food on the plate for them. So sorry guys, like but like I can help you in another way, like something like that. Like the way she worded that was so weird and just seemed so rude in a way. And I'm guessing Marcel is like mad at that. She's like, come on, like, and I thought we were friends. And even if they weren't friends and they weren't really like together for a long time, still, Falin saved you. Couldn't you feel a little bit of like, like thought of like, oh, repaying that back? You just left like that. But anyways, Marcel's not happy, and yeah, I can understand her feelings. Either way, she's like, she gets up after washing herself up, pours the boiling water in the water, and I'm like, come on, man, don't do that. There can be creatures in it. And that's exactly what happens. The Undine comes up and starts attacking, and Marcel drops down on the water. She doesn't have a staff, so she couldn't use like any stronger magic spells. She does have her water walking thing on, so she can walk on water floating. But nothing else she can do. She's getting attacked. The Undine is just shooting, like water jets at her. She gets like pierced by that, starts bleeding, and she's trying to run away. Nothing is, cannot do anything. Senshi and Chilcha comes up. They also cannot help. They do think that they can make like fire to help out, but they don't have like the fire they have just burnt. They've just like extinguished it. So they're trying to make another fire, but it's not working. Laius also comes up, sees the whole situation. Marcel is running out of mana and she cannot do anything, so she's like, I need to do something. So she realizes there's only one thing she can do, blasts herself in her position, goes up, like because of the explosion. Laius comes and catches her, and all the others help to save her. So they come inside of the building, and Marcel has lost a lot of blood. She's lacking mana as well. So they're like, what can we do? And obviously they can go back. However, if they go back, they won't be able to help Falin, because we have to remember we have a time limit. If the dragon digests Falin, she cannot be brought back. That will be bad. So they're thinking what to do, and that is where they come up with the idea of feeding her the liver of the kelpie. And they're like, all right, then just let's do a barbecue. And I guess it does make sense. Like liver has a lot of iron, and if you eat it, maybe it'll help compensate the blood a little bit. So they make the barbecue. Like Lies helps Marcel come up, and they start like feeding her the liver. I love how this part is kind of funny, but they're like, all right, here we have the meat part. Like everyone's eating the meat part, and they're like, all right, here's the liver for you, Marcel. All right, let's eat the meat part. Eats the meat part. Here's the liver for you, Marcel. And Marcel's just looking at them. She's like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, I understand I need to eat the liver, but at least give me a bit of meat as well. And she, at the end, she's like, just give me meat. Like, what the hell? Either way, her blood has come back up a little bit, I'm guessing, but she still has mana shortage. So what to do, in that situation? They're thinking, and then we get to see that girl who has left us. She is with her new party, I'm guessing, and she's got like, she's walking, and she's like, oh, we're getting like a smell of something burning. Someone's cooking something. She's like, oh, which type of a fool would cook meat at this place? And yeah, like maybe we'll get to she'll get to meet her party, or her ex-party members again, next episode, or maybe not. I don't know, but I feel like that might happen. And if that happens, Marcel will not be happy. She'll be pissed at her. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Great episode, and yeah. So that is it. So that's my reaction to episode number 8 of Dungeon Meshi. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Dungeon Meshi. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.